mean, I had a bun that was, I think, depressed, and she just became something else once I bonded her with Chester. I mean, it's insane. It's crazy. Like, even my friends notice the difference, and they don't like live with me or anything like that. Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm Sarah, and today we're going to talk about what not to do when bonding your rabbits. So rabbit bonding can be very complicated, but what I will say is that rabbits really need each other. They are animals that do much better in bonded pairs and actually live longer in pairs. So a little quick background on my rabbits. I got my rabbit Primrose about 2 years ago now. And when I got her, she had just gotten over the loss of her previous mate. This was really traumatizing for Primrose, obviously. And if you don't know, there is like a whole process for what to do when one of your rabbits dies and how the other one grieves. And I always noticed how quiet she was, how reserved, how unexcited she was for so many things. And I kind of realized how she could possibly be still grieving. And I think that's what was going on. She was in a new environment, she didn't have her mate, and this was very stressful for her. So I started researching what I could do to make her feel better, to help my bunny. And I found out getting another rabbit is actually very helpful. Not only because rabbits need each other, but also because when a rabbit's mate dies, it's really important for them to have a substitution. Now that sounds very weird and bad, but it's actually not bad. It's good for a rabbit to have another mate if they're used to having one in general. So this led me to getting my second bunny, Chester. Now we need to talk about how to bond rabbits. You cannot just throw two rabbits into a room together and hope that they get along. It is a huge process. First, I took Primrose over to her vet's office where the bunnies that were up for adoption were actually located. We introduced her to a bunny. They did not get along. Straight away, our vet knew that this was not gonna work. So next came in Chester. Now, it's not like they bonded right away, oh my gosh, all of a sudden. But there was something there. We could see that there was something between them that we thought could really work. So I adopted Chester, and then I started the rabbit bonding process. So this is how we start the rabbit bonding process. You take 2 pens and put them directly next to each other and have each bunny in each pen. This is pretty much what you should do for like the first week of having that new bunny. And it's really important that they see each other, that they know each other is there, they're gauging, they're smelling, but still not interacting, because it could be very dangerous if you introduce them too quickly. They could fight, it could lead to an injury or something like that. So I kept both of them in 2 separate pens that were facing each other. Now this was hard for my bunny Primrose because she was a free roam bun. She was used to roaming around the house, having her own thing, and not being in a cage. So this, first of all, made her upset. Second of all, now she has a new friend she has to get along with, so she was doubly upset. So I just want to put that out there, that even if you have a free roam bun, you're gonna have to put them in a pen. It's just the way that it is in terms of bonding your bunnies. So after about a week of them living next to each other, it was time to introduce them properly. So what you need to do is get a neutral space. This is a space where neither bunny has ever crossed before. One of the most popular spaces in someone's home is the bathtub, because why would a bunny ever be in the bathtub, right? So this is also really great because something called trauma bonding happens. Now that doesn't sound great, but it is, because all of a sudden 2 bunnies are in a place that they've never been. The floor is slippery, they don't know how to get out, and they kind of like cling to each other for support and like, what's going on here kind of thing. So that's one option. Another option is to put them in a neutral space with a pen and just observe them together. Now the space needs to be small. It should not be big at all. No one bunny needs to try to make it their territory. This is a small space. I set it up in my kitchen and I just observe the two bunnies. Now you're gonna need oven mitts because if your bunnies start fighting, you're gonna have to break it up. And you don't wanna do that without your hands being covered. So oven mitts and also a spray bottle, like a spray water bottle. So if you see one of them start kind of agitating the other one or kind of like looking like there could be a fight, you spray them immediately, and they hated that, so they stopped. I think I got very lucky in my bonding process because my bunnies bonded in about a week and a half. Now, I actually have a friend who's still bonding her bunnies. It's, I think, been 6 months that she's bonded them, and they're finally starting to get along, finally. So it's a tedious process, but it is worth it in the end. So when you have the bunnies in their pen and they're together, the interactions should only be about 10 to 15 minutes, something very short, just so they can smell each other, they know what each other are, and then it's done. And you always want to leave on a good note because bunnies will remember if they fought. So if they were fighting and then you broke them up and then you took them out and then that's what they last remember, that's what they're gonna remember from when you come back previously. So always leave on a good note with your buns. And a good note can just be neutrality. Both bunnies are in the space and they're not moving, they're not touching, they're not doing anything. That's fine. So as your bunnies start to bond, start to get to know each other, you can kind of increase the size of the pen space ever so slightly. Now, usually what will happen is one bunny will become the dominant bunny. And this will show in who will be groomed by the other bunny. So the dominant bunny always wants to be groomed by the second bunny. Mine, this kind of happened. I still believe that Primrose is the dominant bunny, even though Chester gets groomed constantly. I don't know, some part of me thinks she still rules the roost in some sort of way. You can also have like two bunnies that are both dominant, and they kind of like share that. So you never know. But what you will notice happening is one bunny submitting to the other one by grooming them. And this is a great sign. So great to see this. A trick you can do is put some banana on their foreheads so that they'll start licking each other and they think they're being groomed. So it's like really funny that this happens, but once they think they're being groomed, they're like, oh, this other bunny has accepted me and now we're bonding. So that's another great way. Something else you can use are treats to reward them for being good. Just make sure they're not fighting over the treat, so give both of them one treat at the same time, stuff like that. Also, certain bunny sexes can be better fits for each other. And when I say this means a male and a female bunny really get along better than a female and a female bunny. But sometimes we don't have the option of what type of bunny we can get. Another thing is you want both bunnies to be spayed and neutered. This is like so important just because bunnies that are not spayed and neutered have lots of hormones. They're very aggressive. They can pee everywhere. They can destroy things. So you really, I cannot recommend it more, need to make sure that each one is spayed and neutered. This is kind of a difficult process because if you adopt a bunny, you might not sure where they came from or if they are spayed or neutered, and your vet's gonna have to determine that for you. But it is worth it if you do want to bond two bunnies. Now, bunnies that grew up together, that are brother and sister or from the same litter, definitely will bond better than like a new bunny that you're bringing into the space. But like I said, we don't always have the option of that, so it's best to just be prepared in whatever situation that might arise for you. You also need to make sure that you have two of everything so that they're not ever fighting over one thing or the next because you only have one of that thing. So 2 castles, 2 litter boxes, Mine share the same food and water bowls, but you might want to get 2 of those as well. Also, something very, very important is every time that you take them out of their individual spaces to bond, I recommend putting them in the space that they were not in before. So like switching the pens. This is important because they can smell each other's scent. They know what's going on. It's not one specific bunny's territory, and they will know that once it's been switched. I recommend switching their toys that are in each pen, or stuffed animals that you have in there, etc. Just so they know you are now sharing the same items and sharing the same space. Treats always distract your bunny from the situation at hand, so treats are really, really great as a rewarding mechanism, or just to keep your bunnies like zen and tranquil. We actually have a herbal blend that's like a tranquility blend that keeps bunnies very calm, and this is important during this process because can be a very stressful process for a bunny, especially if they've never had a mate before or are not used to being around other bunnies. Just remember that rabbits do bond for life. This is a very important part of a rabbit's lifetime. In the wild, rabbits are always together. They live in packs and they are very used to being with other bunnies. So I just couldn't recommend more getting another bunny as a mate for your own. I know the bonding process sounds daunting, but really, it's worth it. It's worth it to have a healthy, happy bun. I can't tell you how different Primrose was after she met Chester. I mean, I had a bun that was, I think, depressed, and she just became something else once I bonded her with Chester. I mean, it's insane. It's crazy. Like even my friends notice the difference, and they don't like live with me or anything like that. She's just such a happier bunny. She's always ready for treats. She runs around, she jumps on things, and I can only attribute this to getting another bunny. So it's really important. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. If you like our videos, please subscribe, like, comment, hit that notification bell. Head over to smallpetselect.com to read any blogs. We have blogs on this topic as well with more informational stuff like that. And yeah, so thanks everyone so much. I'm Sara, and we love having you as part of our Small Pet Select community.